that's one chapter come and gone. And I have you to thank for listening. Do you think it was hard for our boys to choose one set of lives over another? To play God in a situation they know so little about? When you think of it like that, it's a terrifying thought. When each life of one nation set within one person's plot, your own little slice of hell to determine as you please. Do you think they'd go back if they could? It's decisions like these that'll permeate throughout my long and weaving tale, wherefore idiots run about and try to make their home sweet Gaia the best that it can be. But I'm getting way off track here. I'll pick my mandolin right up here. Now gather round, new chapters in our tale. For our adventurers are blazing a new trail. It's far to the east to which they seek their prize. An ancient prophecy preventing all smiles. These saplings which grant ungodly power have tipped the scale so the uninformed can scour. So through the ruling fields they must run. But what grand horrors await behind the setting sun? I hope our boys don't mind sticky situations. When crit happens.
So you guys have been traveling now for 8 days, backtracking a bit through the rolling grasslands as you run southeast from Smolderven, which in the world of Gaia seems to be a central landmark, and I didn't just do that because it's easier to do directions that way.
Never.
Never. But even these familiar golden plains begin to shift into a more wild, scorched savanna, thanks to the large and powerful legs of the monster cart creature some of you have dubbed Florence.
Everyone has dubbed Florence.
You've dubbed Florence.
I did. Okay.
Everyone followed suit.
We concurred.
Yes. According to Yrse and Svein's atlases, whatever the plural is for atlas,
Maps.
Maps. This particular stretch of savanna is what's known as Soulglass, which is translated from another language none of you understand. Because I'm pretty sure nobody here knows Orcish or whatever the Goliaths speak.
Oh yeah,
Would
yeah,
it be
I
bad
don't.
if I said I knew Orcish?
Do you actually?
I do, actually.
I do not. I wish that I knew Goliath-ish.
Goliathish. I think something else.
Lannon's
Well,
not
then,
smart
for you-
enough for that shit.
Yeah.
Common, halfling, and elf.
I would say I was pretty gosh darn sure we didn't have yours, but for you, Kennam, it essentially translates into something akin to the sun's soul split into slivers, which is a fun little acronistic thing that people of this world decided to do. Anyway, this is sort of a brand new site for a lot of you. Like, the land is opening up, vast skies and expansive landscape. There's this imposing mountain chain directly to your north. Tall grass still does exist, but not to the extent that it did in the plains. It's far more scattered. It's over shifts and warm colored tones, and there's a lot of room left for these gnarled rows of bushes colored burnt umbers. And whatever trees are there, which again are very few and far between, they're much taller, and the tops are flat, and the trunks themselves are incredibly twisting. Now, as much of a rush as you are all in to find the location of the next sapling, Yrse makes it a point to slow the pace of Florence so you all can become more familiar with this new land. So for the past couple days or so, she's taking you up to the back of the cart and slowed down its pace so she can point out sort of like the various wildlife and sights that you guys will be encountering while you traverse Soulglass. She shows you all of these crazy animals, towering elephants, swift big cats, these giant carrion birds, but she also shows you some more fantastical creatures, beasts you thought really only existed in books and stories. There's these multicolored slimes with the bones of the last meals they had, the hordes of these crocodile-esque basilisks covered in spiny crystals, the very elements of water and rock themselves, walking around as if they own the land itself. And Yrse explains to you that all of these more sort of whimsical creatures are far more recent, only appearing within about a half a century or so.
Wow, yeah, that is pretty recent.
It is pretty recent, huh? And her only guess to this is the resurgence and the knowledge of the seeds of consciousness and the world tree and the powers that they bestow. And as you guys are taught about all of these animals and sort of this magical nuances of soul glass, she also warns you about the inhabitants of this world, orcs and Goliath. And that's kind of where our story kicks off today. You guys are, again, on the back of Florence. He's sort of going at a little slow jog, and Iris is hanging out by the railing. She's sort of shown you guys that this is indeed a very safe railing, and nobody shall be falling off while she's around. But that is the current situation. She is now explaining to you about the inhabitants. And she says, now look, guys, I don't know a whole lot about Goliath. I just know they're really big. They sort of keep to themselves, but I sure as hell can tell you what I know about orcs. Well, most of you anyway. Lobe, you've sort of had a run-in with one variant of orc. And she looks at you, Lobe.
Yes, the lovely green people.
Right. Which, again, I just want to reiterate for everybody here, I'm not a forest god. There's no famine that is imminent. They just do that because they're newcomers to the forest. Just want to remind you all, not a malevolent being, okay?
Duly noted.
Okay, because we've been having some issues this week. Anyway, the real main thing you have to know about these people is they weren't native to these lands. When humans and dwarves and elves and all those sort of big focal races took over Gaia, they were kind of pushed off to the four corners of the earth. But Lannon, as you know, with the whole plague situation, they've had a bit of a resurgence. So the variation you saw, though, Lobe, those are more akin to forest. We'll be seeing sort of a different species, I guess is the right word. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Again, I think it has something to do with the seeds of consciousness, probably accelerating the genetic makeup to make up these different variants to match up for the environment. But anyway, no, I'm rambling.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes, still rambling, though. That's not the most important part.
Okay.
It's the important part that they taste good.
That's
We can
your
find out.
prerogative. That's your prerogative, Lobe. We would kind of call them intelligent beings, though, like on the level of us. So I wouldn't exactly, condone eating them. And I don't know what thoughts you are all having about orcs. I'm sure it's something big and monstrous, but they're fairly, not savage. It actually works together with the. Oh, hold on. Hang on. We should actually probably go back into Florence. Fuck, I mean the car. And at that, she kind of like pinches the bridge of her nose, like.
Are we not talking about the elementals and stuff anymore? I'm missing this here.
No, she switched over to orcs and whatnot. The elementals are still on a lower thought plane.
Okay,
You can
that's
eat
what he was
dolls.
asking about. Yeah, that's what he was asking about.
Well,
Lobe beats the train on that.
I guess Iris did assume you would be talking about eating rocks and water.
Oh god.
But she leads you back into, I guess, the head of Florence, where the big dial of levers and levers are, where the magic atlas is. And she sort of pulls all your attention over where you notice that there is indeed, within the Soul Glass Savannah, there is a glowing mark, and you seem to be gaining some ground closer to it. And she explains, now, I don't really know where this sapling is. It doesn't exactly give me exact coordinates, but I'm kind of hoping we don't, again, no offense, but I really would rather avoid big cities this time around. It would be good, but in case we do, I guess I should tell you a little bit about that. And then she goes into slight detail about a city known as Azu Undial. Again, translates into something which she doesn't quite remember what it is, and that's not the important part.
She doesn't, or you don't have your notes up?
No, she literally, like, in her book, she's like, look up what the hell this means again, because I totally forget. And she says, so, it's not too different from Smolderven. I mean, they've got a bit of gnome technology in there, and again, you've got, like, 2 different groups merging into one, sort of this culture of fair play and elemental worship, and, oh my god, if you've been in there before, those temples are gorgeous. And, ugh! I went to see one of their food bazaars once, and that
Can
was
I
pretty good.
roll to move the plot along?
Yes, she's gonna keep rambling at this point, like going on about the amazing.
God damn it! I rolled a. I crit failed.
You joined in on the conversation.
Oh no!
I just
Start
imagine like
licking your lips.
I just imagine you start like you try to clear your throat and it just goes into a full blown hacking fit. She's like, oh shit. Okay.
Are you
well,
okay there, Lannon?
Water.
Well, that's gonna be a little few and far in between, so that'll be fun.
Shit.
Well, thankfully Florence is all equipped. That actually leads to the second part, though. Hold on a hot second. And she pulls Florence over into sort of this grove of these twisted bushes and some of the trees, and she instructs all of you to get out of the cart.
What?
You heard me.
All right.
Are we gonna see some Transformer action?
Okay.
Maybe. Maybe we're gonna say hi to some friendly orcs and elementals.
Yeah, just in the back.
But yeah, no. You just want your butts out of the cart.
Alright. I mean, Kennam's going.
Okay.
Alright.
Lennon's
Svein
got
gonna
no
follow
objections.
Wait, if we're heading out of the cart, should we get Winslow out of the cart?
Yeah, regrettably, she does say that you, Kennam, should probably go get him. If only because he's really the only one who seems to be friendly with. This week has, this week has been interesting for you and Winslow's friendship.
Yeah, Kennam's gonna go get Winslow.
Okay. So you all kind of pile out of the cart. Winslow, a little grumpy because he's not exactly in on what's going on. So at one point he was in Smoldervan, and now suddenly, boom, Savannah. And that sort of grumpiness persists, or actually intensifies, as Ear steps out and explains. So here's the deal. We can't actually ride in Florence. Shit, I mean the cart anymore, as is.
Why?
Yes, why is that?
Explain?
Well, see, Florence isn't exactly... And she pauses a second and sort of bites her lip. Florence isn't really something... Florence is kind of new to this world. Kind of gnome tech, but not really. So I got this sneaky suspicion if we bound around these villages and huts in a giant monster cart, we may not be taken in so warmly.
We might be taking it as gods.
Hey, now, there's only one god.
Exactly.
Says the cleric.
So let's not risk that biscuit, and yeah, so we're gonna have to walk, unfortunately.
I see. Yes, we wouldn't want to cause any more problems.
Well, and I say you guys have to walk. I'm throwing Winslow in the cart and locking the door.
Why did we bring him out in the first place?
Well, I didn't want to crush him, and she kind of hesitates on that last part, like, maybe I did.
Oh.
And you kind of, and you hear Winslow in the back sort of go, what the hell? So, with that, Iris rolls up her robe sleeve, and she puts a hand on giant monster Florence cart, and you watch as the sort of swirling carvings and the very tribal-esque like paint on this gypsy cart begins to flow towards her hand, and as it does, Florence starts to shrink and sort of piece itself back together into what a normal cart should look like. And eventually, he is back to what you guys saw the very first time you saw Iris driving through the Smolder Ven. I'm trying to think of what that word is. It's
Entrance?
Yeah, that thing. No, I was trying to think of Colosseum and it wasn't coming to me. But anyway, so now she's got sort of this runic looking tattoo inching up her arm, and she rolls her sleeve back down and she shakes her hand a bit. She's like, okay, well, that was fun. Yeah, so if you just future reference too, that's how it works. So if you ever try and activate it without me, it's not gonna work.
Oh, I see. So what happens to everything inside? Does that get all smashed up?
I mean, not exactly. It sort of shapes it. Okay, how do I put this? Kennam, you know that rope trick thing you do?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like that, but if there's something living in there, yes, to put it how you said, Svein, it totally will get crushed up like a little.
Oh,
trash
and we
compactor.
wouldn't want that. No.
No, that'd be a little bad.
Okay.
What about the food?
That should be fine too. It's not technically alive anymore.
Oh, good.
My poisons.
Yeah, so don't. Your poison is not alive. I know you treat it as your baby, Lannon, but I need you to just. Okay, look, we are wasting some serious time here. It's still gonna take like half the day to get to the first village that I want to check out. So, and she looks over at you, Kennam, and she looks down at Kevin, and she sort of makes a motion.
No, you lost me. What kind of motion?
A pack goat.
She goes over and like pats the goat and looks at you like, okay, can we do the weird thing? Can you? Like Kevin?
Oh, you want me to
Yeah.
feed Kevin?
Yes, thank you. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. But first, I'm gonna put Winslow in the cart and go over to Kevin. And do I really have to roll to just keep feeding him firebolts? Or
No,
firebolts?
what? How big do you want to make her though?
Well, I mean, how big? Well, I'd imagine we all want to get on. But at the same time, I feel like if we make her colossal, then it won't be any different than...
Oh my god, no!
Florence, yeah.
Yeah, than riding it on Florence. I don't feel like that'd be any
Do it.
different.
No, listen, you have to understand something. Florence does not, in the D5 chart, like the height chart, he's not colossal. He's not even close. He's like huge at most. Colossal's like 64 feet tall.
How much fire would that take?
A lot of fire.
Okay.
Oh man, if we put Kevin up against the big bad, like whatever that may be.
Alright. So I guess
The mode activated.
I guess let's just make him her a large.
Okay,
Um,
that should be fine.
yeah, so it probably won't carry everyone, but the small people can hop on, and maybe one mid-sized.
I can walk.
I was gonna say, yeah, screw you, taller people. Okay, so you put Winslow into the cart. Again, he's sort of protesting, like, why the hell do I have, or like, why the hell do I have to go in the cart? This is stupid.
It's the cart or prison.
Well, what the heck is the difference?
The cart or dying?
You get to come out of the cart eventually.
Fine, whatever. He goes to the cart, and then you make Kevin, Big Kevin, who takes on rather hellish appearance, same curling sort of on-fire horns, blazing eyes that could damn many souls to hell. She's very spooky looking. And Ears takes a look at this, and she's like, okay, well, hopefully no one thinks we're like death or something, but I don't really have any other options.
Well, we'll
Okay.
just do the best that we can.
I guess so. All right, I guess I'll hop up here. And she starts jumping up on the cart to drive in a way, but, you know, Kevin sort of does what Kevin does. So drive is a very loose operative term here.
Oh yeah, can't we just put Kevin at the front of the cart?
Yeah, that was her plan.
Oh, you said we were walking, so I totally thought we were just riding Kevin.
Oh my god. You could still have the cart. It just has to be baby carts.
Alright, fair enough.
Baby cart?
I mean, listen,
Baby Florence.
if you still want to ride Kevin, you've definitely made her big enough.
Yes, I do want to ride Kevin. I'm using this land vehicle proficiency as much as I can.
I guess that does count, doesn't it? Okay. I will say this, though. Ears do not account for the fact that Kevin has never really pulled a cart, so you might have to do some coaxing with her to hook her up to said cart.
Fair. Alright. What is that? Handle animal?
Yes. Or in Lobe's case, asking really nicely.
I like asking nicely.
It's a good strategy.
It is a good strategy. It might have to be the strategy if Kennam really just screws the pooch on this one.
Whoops.
Well, yeah, a 1d20 plus 3 isn't exactly an answer.
You forgot the slash.
Yeah,
I
let's try that again.
8.
8!
Yeah,
Excellent!
pretty
So what,
botched.
okay, so what the heck were you doing to try and get this goat hooked up?
More or less just kind of put it on her. Didn't work, I guess.
Yeah, you go to harness up this hell goat, and she immediately is like, nope, and just kind of skirts out from underneath and hides behind Lobe. Kind of, she's like twice the size of Lobe, so that doesn't really work out, but to her, she's beautiful. And
I
she
don't
goes,
think we're really hiding very well.
so she does not look thrilled about that, and Ears is like, okay, what is happening here? Can we get this goat train rolling, please?
This isn't a train.
Well, whatever. Lobe, can you do something? She seems to like you quite a bit.
Kevin, could you please pull the cart?
Roll persuasion.
Roll persuasion, but with advantage.
He said please.
He did say please. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact this goat thinks you're its father. Or something.
22 altogether.
22?
Oh, wow. Alright.
Yeah, no. Fatherly ways win out. Kevin looks at you for a second, Lobe, and she sort of hangs her head. It's like, but she does go over and she lets you hook her up. Lannon, or not Lannon. I mean, Lannon, feel free to join in, but Kennam has the thing right now. So now she's all hooked up. Ears is up at the drivey place, and she's like, okay, everyone better settle in or something. We're about to head on out.
All right. Svein climbs up.
Neat. Now we have a driving partner. All right, Lobe is walking.
Yeah, I'm up on the cart.
Okay, so you're on the cart or riding Kevin?
I don't know. Can I ride Kevin?
Yeah.
Is that a thing I can do?
You can sit on Kevin. She
Okay.
forgives you.
I'm gonna sit on Kevin.
All right, Lannon, where are you at?
I'm in the back of the cart, keeping an eye on Winslow.
Okay.
Good idea.
So you guys set off on your not as impressive cart. Ear sort of does her best to maneuver through this tangled up grass. Eventually you sort of find a pathway and you continue forward, and she does not shut up the entire way there. She just kind of goes on and on about, like this town or the village we're coming up to is supposed to be nomadic, but I visit there a bunch of times and they really like me, and like this, that, and the other, and I really hope you like listening to her chat, Svein, because woo, she is chatting your ear off.
You might even be taking notes. So much information.
So much information.
I mean, if they're gonna be shipped.
Yep. Alright, you just relax on that. So, let's see. So this fun little chatter's going on, and the sun gets about halfway into the sky at this point, and Ears kind of calls all you to attention, and she says, okay, so we're coming up on it soon, so everybody look sharp, and don't look like you're about ready to attack somebody, okay?
Can do.
Okay.
Lennon just gives a thumbs up.
Okay, good. Listen, Kennam,
Yeah.
So we're kind of facading the tiniest bit as one of the halfling caravans. So you and relax.
Okay.
Don't freak out.
Only 2
Continue.
of you are halflings, though.
Shh. It's okay.
Wait, 2? I thought she was a gnome.
I am a gnome. It's short, people. It's fine. Listen, the reasoning for this is these orcs probably haven't seen, well, a dwarf, a human, and an elf, half you may be, Lannon, for quite some time. So let's not scare the hell out of them, and we'll just kind of lead the charge here, okay? We'll go in, we'll see if we can find the sapling, and then we'll call in the artillery if we need it. Sound good, boys?
Gotcha.
Okay,
Sounds
excellent.
like a good plan.
Kennam's gonna rummage around in his backpack for a second, put it back on, and then go, okay, good.
Okay, cool. So we'll be right back. If I remember correctly, it's like right over this pass over here. Again, we'll give you a shout if we need some help. Lobe, you still got Kevin nearby. Kevin still has the Stone of Far Speech, which we really should get off of her face at some point. Doesn't anyone have like a chain or something?
I like it there.
Does Kevin like it there?
I don't know. Kevin, you cool?
Meh.
Okay, Kevin's cool.
It does look very swag.
Okay, we're gonna go now. We'll be right back. And Ears leads you, Kennam, up and over the hill. And as you start to sort of climb over this thing, she glances back at the cart and she says, okay, well, we're doing good so far. Nothing's on fire, so that's good.
Yeah.
Land whisper on the wind. Yeah. But she turns to you, Kennam, and she says, so, by the way, what the heck were you looking for? I don't exactly see anything new that could help in this situation.
Just moving some things around so I have quick access to a few things.
Okay. I guess we'll go with that. Now, listen, This is going to be our cover story for now. Both of us are on a caravan expedition. I'm there sort of as your tech advisor. You are the head of the caravan. We ran out of supplies, so we're going in and see if we have anything to offer. While we're around, and she now reaches into her own sort of messenger bag knapsack, and she pulls out a fistful of what looks to be multicolored crystals, and she hands a couple to you, and you notice that these crystals sort of correlate with the seeds that all of you possess. All the colors, the yellow, purple, blue, and red. And she says, while we're there, pay attention to these, because if any of them start glowing, that means the sapling is here somewhere. Okay?
Got it.
Okay. So, what position do you have in this caravan again?
I'm the head.
Okay, good. That's good. She kind of pats you on the back. And you reach the top of this hill. And as you reach the top of this hill, what you see below is just poor grass. And it's grass, and there's some what looks like kind of freshly sprouted trees. There's a couple of those twisting brush. It looks like sort of the makeshift of a grove is happening, but Kennam, you don't see any people. Like, you don't see any orcs. There's no tents or huts or anything. It's just sort of this newly made grove.
You got that map right?
And Iris is looking down too, and she's kind of confused. She's like, "What? Wait a minute." And she is looking through her book. She pulls it out of her bag and she flips through the pages, and she's like, "This isn't right. I thought, what?" And she glances behind her, and she, down at the bottom of the hill, she waves to the rest of the party. So you, Lannon, Svein, and then Lobe, she's now waving to you at the top of this hill, a little frantically.
As in, like, come help?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, get your butts up here.
I think she wants our attention. We should go.
That's a good idea.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Alright, I turn to Winslow and say, if you're not here, I will hunt you down like a dog. And then I leave.
He kind of calls out, "Where the heck am I gonna go? It's literally grass for miles."
I'm halfway up the hill by the time he says that.
Okay, fair enough. So all of you make your way up the hill?
Yep.
Okay, you get to that hill and you see the same thing, sort of just this newly growing grove in the middle of seemingly nowhere.
Oh, did they do some remodeling?
No, this is definitely where they were supposed. Zane, pull out your map. I'm gonna do some comparison.
I mean, you did say there were
Okay.
nomads.
Well, yeah, but not that nomadic. Good God, they just settled down the last time I saw them.
Well, when's
Svein,
the last
you
time
have-
you saw them?
I mean, a couple
Yes.
weeks ago.
Here's the
Yeah.
map right here.
Okay, perfect. And she drops to her knees and she pulls out both these books and she's flipping through and she's looking at both sides. She's like, okay, no, this was definitely it because it's that formation over there and
So she's
snaps
kind
both
of
books
talking
Yeah.
to herself like crazy, like.
like a crazy lady, yes, as her MO. And eventually she just slammed both books shut. She's like, okay, I guess they did move. Okay, well, there's another kind of more stable establishment a little bit east from here, so I guess we'll go that way. And she looks to you and she says, look, does anybody have... I don't want to use Florence still in case... Shit, I mean the bigger cart. Glares at you.
I'm just gonna give a shrug, like, I'm not the one who keeps saying it.
No, but you were the one who came up with it.
I ain't fighting it.
Look, I still don't want to use the bigger version of the cart, but it's still going to take us a while to get there, so... Is there anything you guys can do to get there before me? Does anyone have, like, spells, or... Jesus, I guess Kennam would be faster if he was on hook.
Run?
I've got legs.
Okay, helpful. Talking more of sort of the magical arts here.
I mean, I could throw out I could throw a levitate, and someone could throw me there.
Ooh, that is a good idea.
That sounds like
Okay.
a lot of
No.
fun.
Okay, but then you float, like, up into the atmosphere, and
I
then
can
I've lost
control
my...
my altitude.
Can you?
Yeah, you get to control how you can go up to 20 feet in the air, or you can control where it stops.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Oh my god.
But how will we get there?
Yeah, okay. Never mind, I asked. Because I'm actually
Wait.
considering that.
What if you... I do have a rope, so what if you hang on to one end of the rope?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna pull up the card. If you guys have an idea, by the time I get up, you just let me know. And she starts down the hill, kind of shaking her head like, oh god.
I mean, that's all I got, guys.
Lannon's got nothing.
No, I don't have anything.
And nothing over
Lobe.
here.
I was gonna say, Lobe sits off in the distance. Okay, well, she pulls the cart back up, and you all sort of collectively say, "Ugh." She pinches the bridge of her nose. She's like, okay, alright, fine. Then I guess it's safer if we do stick together. Well, okay. Kennam, I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to get a higher viewpoint, so I guess we'll do that rope thing, but tie you to the cart, so we don't lose you forever.
You're like a balloon!
Yeah, little Macy's Day balloon party.
I'll take it. Sure,
Okay.
I'll be our crow's nest.
Alright, cool beans. Now we turn into a pirate gang. I'm so excited for this.
It's like the fantasy Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah. So you enact this plan, you cast levitate, Svein ties you off to the cart, etc. Oh my god. Now here's the real question. Do you just cast levitate on yourself, or you're like, you want a friend to come up there and join you?
I'm not sure what they would do if we both go plummeting, so I think
Fair point.
I'll just do it.
Fair point. Okay. Then now you are Macy's Day Parade Balloon, so you will be allowed to make sick-ass perception checks with advantage if the time comes about for it.
Cool.
Cool beats.
It's very good, because I do not have a good perception.
Thank God. So then I guess you all retake your positions.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool beans. So Lannon, you go back inside the cart, and Winslow looks at you weirdly like, wow, that was fast. Was the town a bust or something?
Yeah. A bit.
I believe they've changed locations.
Kind of ears looks at you, Svein. He's like, Svein, shh, no details.
Okay.
He don't know to need nothing.
I'm sorry, what was that sentence?
I'm pretty sure I said something to the extent of he don't need to know nothing, but I'm sure it came out as something else glorious.
Yeah.
Alright, so you then continue back on the trek with your dopey little cart. But this time, Kennam, you got eyes in the sky, and you can see a lot more than everybody else around you. Like, definitely these savannas, like, you thought they were big on the ground. These savannas are huge. Like, the Soul Glass, like, you are looking horizon to horizon, and it is nothing but the Soul Glass savannas. It's nothing but just this dead grass and these, the sprinkles of trees and the crazy animals that Ears pointed out earlier. And this would be the opportune time to make a perception check.
With advantage.
With advantage.
15, 8.
Okay. So we're probably going to go with a 15?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the fun thing you notice, though, Kennam, as you're drifting above. As you guys pull away from where Ears thought that nomadic village was, and sort of the overgrowth of plant life has begun, you kind of notice that overgrowth is making a path. Like, it starts there, but there's more new growth sort of heading off in one singular direction. Not as big and not as crazy as where these nomads were supposed to be, but definitely a discernible pathway.
There's a plant subway underground.
It's a plant subway underground.
Eat fresh.
Well, that's strange.
Do you relay the information,
Yeah.
or?
I was about to be like, so anyway.
Do you see anything, Kennam?
Trees and grass.
Okay.
Yep. Well, that's Soul Glass for you. Okay.
Wonderful observation.
Yeah, so glad we put him in the sky.
They should call it tree grass.
Tree. That's a good one. That's a good one, Svein.
Oh.
You're hilarious.
Boo.
So these shenanigans persist, and
Can I spit on Spain's head for that?
Oh, you're gonna have to account for windage on that shot.
Like a
You
ranged
might
attack.
Range
Do I have to-
attack disadvantage because of the wind.
But it would be a touch attack, right? It would ignore Spain's armor.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see.
Oh my god, he's actually making
Oh. Wait,
Would I
there
be
is.
Would I be
Wait,
proficient in spitting?
No.
It's an improvised weapon.
That's a 4.
Disadvantage. Let's see if you get a 1.
Yeah, let's see if we get that 1.
No.
No.
Oh.
No, we'll go with the 4. You hawk a loogie, Kennam, after hearing that terrible pun, but you just watch the loogie soar behind you and just sort of dissipate into the nothingness that is this savannah. Maybe it hits something. Maybe it'll go all the way around the world and hit you in the face a couple hours later. Who knows?
Wait, question. What time of day is it?
Well, it was mid-morning, or mid. The sun is in the middle of the sky when you guys first arrived. That doesn't exist. So it was that when you arrived at the supposed nomadic tribe, but this next leg of the mission is going to take quite a bit longer. It's getting into the evening time when Ears finally calls out, "Okay, I think we're almost there. Does anyone need like a take 5 here? Should we break for dinner, or fuck, would it be midnight snack at this point? Oh my god." Whew. And like even Kevin's kind of looking a bit tired here. You've noticed as time has. I know you are. But you've noticed as time progressed, sort of Kevin lets off these little snorts of fire, and as she does, she seems to get slower, like the tiniest bit smaller. But it's definitely well into the evening, encroaching on nighttime territory.
We need to refuel the carts.
There's the nearest gas station.
About 60 feet in the air.
Maybe we should stop for a bit.
Yeah, I guess. So.
What would happen if we lit a fire in this area?
What?
Nothing.
You know,
There is a lot of grass, but
Yeah, no, please. Say
don't-
that sentence again.
don't want to burn up the whole country.
It wouldn't be the whole country, as long as
I mean, we
make.
did burn up the last one.
Fair enough.
You know what? Lannon appreciates that joke. Because that was actually funny. That was witty. I like it.
Lannon, are you essentially asking if you could build a campfire and not start a brush fire?
Yes.
Okay. That you can do. That's fine. You just gotta properly make a campsite.
Oh
Which-
god.
Yeah,
Alright.
anyone got the nature skills to do that, by the way?
I have the skill in nature.
Like one singular skill.
Well, I have proficiency in it, so I've got I got a +4 in nature.
I sure
You
shit
want me to
don't.
do it.
Well, yours is sort of.
I'll set the place on fire.
I have a +6 in nature.
I have a +3. So not
Yours
super
kind of calls
good.
Seawall. She's like, yeah, no, you do your campfire thing. I'm actually super interested to see how good you are at setting up this camp.
She talking to me
Yes.
or?
I'm talking to all of you collectively because I don't know what you think I'm gonna do.
Guys, I got a +6 in nature. I forgot to add my proficiency bonus.
Ooh.
Yeah, who else thinks it's kind of weird that nature isn't in intelligence?
Eh.
Makes sense.
Alright. Kennam, are you gonna then lead this camp construction?
I guess.
All right, make me that nature check.
I will supervise.
I was okay.
Oh,
20.
20.
Yo! So Ears is kind of taunting you all like, yeah, I'd like to see how well you do this. Kennam, you fucking find the best spot to camp. Like, where is this perfect camp spot in your brain?
You did have a bird's eye view for a little bit.
Yeah, like I'm thinking it's like there's a little pond with like a tree hanging over it.
Ooh, okay.
Like the little spot where there's not a ton of grass flying like up in the above your eyeballs kind of thing, where it's like just a nice little patch next to a pond.
Okay.
What I'm thinking
you-
is that Iris is like mid taunt and Kennam's just like found it.
He just like bursts through the tall grass. Hey guys, look what I found. Yeah, no, the ego definitely deflates as you can expertly lead the crew to this delicious-looking, delightful pond.
Delicious.
And
looking.
I mean, it's probably drinkable water, right,
That's
Kennam?
tasty.
I can boil it.
Yeah.
There you go. Kennam could
Hey,
boil
there
it.
you go.
Confirmed. It's delicious water. So, Kennam, you kind of lead the efforts here. You like instructing people to do this and that. What do you tell everyone to do?
I know I got campfire. I guess Lannon, you'd probably be best at like getting food, whether it's from the cart or from the surrounding area.
I don't know. Like, I have this feeling that he'll get it from the cart, and then when he comes back, it'll be gone.
Lannon or Lobe?
Oops.
Nah, I'm probably gonna
Lobe.
put Lobe and Svein on getting water, like getting and boiling water, and Kennam's gonna work on the campfire, so we don't burn the place down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, so you all get to work on your specific tasks, and at this point, it is very late in the evening when you're finally done. Beautiful array of stars above you, like out in the Nevada desert. Levels of stargazing here, people. Like this is pretty beautiful.
No light pollution?
No light pollution here, little buddy.
Unless we set things on fire. Everyone be careful.
Did you say fire?
Is that Lannon's trigger word now?
No,
Oh my goodness.
not yet.
Not yet, but we'll get there. Okay.
I'll make
so
sure of
you
it.
So you all are settling in for the night. Water is boiling for whatever food Lannon brought. Lannon, what did you end up getting?
Just the rations that we had in the cart. I didn't feel like killing anything today.
Ears also appreciates that because, God forbid, we have a stampede on our hands.
Oh, I wasn't talking about wild animals.
Oh.
What?
Winslow is still here, is he not?
Actually, yeah, on that note of Winslow, do you guys sort of invite him to your little campfire, or is he just kind of staying in the cart?
I know Kennam's gonna do it.
He has to be in the bad kid corner.
Kennam's
but yeah.
inviting him. I don't know about anyone else.
Yeah, how's everyone else feel about that?
Works for me.
Spain's okay with it.
Lannon's a
Most
tad
of the-
salty, but he'll go with it.
Come on,
And
Winslow.
Ears is like, well, okay, wait a minute. Guys, I know we've had a fun
We
week
have
and a
enough
half.
food.
That's not even close to what I'm concerned about, Svein. Again, week and a half of lovely bonding time, but can we please remember the fact that this half-elf in the cart over there tried to kill everybody?
Lannon just says from the distance, "Thank you!"
Oh, we do remember that. We'll watch him carefully.
Okay. She again pinches the bridge of her nose. She's like, okay, guys, Lobe, I definitely heard you say something about saying sorry, and that's just not gonna cut it in this particular case. Let's just run down the list of bad here. He killed one of my teammates. That was fun. He stole one of the saplings, also great, and he wrecked a majority of a human kingdom. And you want to invite him to our s'mores fest. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Well, we
What's
can't
that
just.
to do any- Go ahead.
Well, we can't just starve him, can we?
Well, I wasn't gonna do that.
I mean, we can. It's not a
This
good
is where-
idea, but we can.
This is where our food's going, so he might as well too.
Oh my god.
It makes sense. I agree.
And you're down with this, Lobe?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's he gonna
Well-
work it all off if he doesn't have any energy?
Okay. Well, Lannon, I guess we're outmatched here. But I want it known that if everybody is dead by the time I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna, over your corpses, tell each and every one of you that I told you so. Long as we're okay with that.
Don't we have to keep watch anyway? You
Oh
know, elementals, savannah, probably snakes.
Just go get your stupid trader man, okay? That was specifically to you, Kennam, because she is like marching away from like the farthest tip of the campfire she can get. She is there. Her arms are crossed and her legs are crossed, and she's just
Sulking.
grumpy.
A chunk
just
of
made-
mad.
Yeah, you just made a very angry, teeny weeny gnome.
You've made a powerful enemy this day.
Yes. Oh god.
Oh,
so you
she
gonna go
doesn't.
get him then?
She doesn't
Oh,
hate
yeah.
you as much as she hates Lannon, so that's good.
I guess that's fair. So you go get Winslow. Again, he's a little confused. Don't know what's going on. And what are you sort of saying to him as you're walking to this campfire full of people who hate him?
Come on, asshat, you're having dinner.
Something along the lines of, you're still kind of on thin ice, but don't fuck it up.
Good advice.
He looks at you, Kennam, and he looks over again, sort of at the hate pile around the fire. Not all hate pile. I know Lobe doesn't mind, and Svein doesn't mind, but you know, Lannon and Ears certainly make up.
Hate duo.
Hate duo.
We have our own
And-
handshake and everything.
And he looks at you, Kennam, and he says, you know, as tempting as sitting around a fire with a bunch of people who probably want me dead is, I think I'm just gonna sit here. Sit in view, but I'm just gonna park it here. And he sits at the doorstop of the caravan, of the cart, and he definitely does not look ready to move.
All right.
But does he have a plate of food?
Again, kind of up to Kennam. Winslow is not going to make a move and go get whatever food is boiling in the pot.
Yeah, I'll make him a plate and bring it out later on. Night.
Okay. So, with the rations that you got, Lannon, and the water you fetched from the pond, what magical stew has been concocted?
Please tell us.
Yeah, go on, chef.
Wait, who actually cooked this food?
I'm still going.
I
with
just
Lannon.
brought
He's-
I just brought the rations over. I have no idea what we had in the cart, alright?
Look, I just made the assumption that Lannon grabbed the rations and just jumped him in the pot and prayed to God something good came out of it.
Alright, let's... can I make a cooking check? To, like, see if it's edible.
Sure. 1d20, son.
Plus
What'd
anything...
you grab there, Nick?
Yeah, what is... Yeah, tell us there, buddy. Like, what'd you make for us tonight, chef?
Salt and carrots.
It's a 15, so it's not...
It's a pot of salt.
Salt water.
I was craving that mineral, alright? But, does pork chop exist in this world?
Yeah, pork chops exist.
Then that.
You made pork chops.
I made pork chops, why not?
With boiled
Okay.
water?
Let me...
Yes.
Again. Yours kind of puts your fingers over her lips. Yeah, yours puts her fingers over lips like, wow, yeah, that's impressive. You boiled dried meats together and got pork chops, huh?
Very creative.
Well, I'm having seconds.
Okay, well, that's good.
I'm surprised you're not having fifths already.
Well, you gotta ladle out the first little dollop there, Lannon. Go ahead, put it on a plate. Eat it.
Alright, Lannon eats it. He's not picky.
Okay, so by the light of the moon and this magical campfire you guys have made, Lannon, you scoop out with a little cooking ladle this sort of grayish mix of meat?
Question mark?
Question mark? And you plop it on your plate and it makes a fun squelching noise.
Oh.
And do you have any silverware that you carry upon your person, or you just finger food in this
Finger food in it.
all the way?
Yep.
Okay. Now, this is very important. I know it's gonna sound weird, but are you eating this magical goop with your armor, like your gauntlets and stuff, or is this like straight up half-elf fingers getting into this mess?
I mean, I don't want to ruin my enchanted armor. Like,
It's true.
come on.
But at the same time, look what you made here.
You got me there. No, yeah, Lannon cares a lot about that armor, so he's just like, he's just using his fingers.
Okay.
No gauntlets.
So okay. So you then go to put a little handful in your mouth. Everyone's sort of watching you. Iris has a raised eyebrow, which quickly turns to shock as she's like, "Oh my god, you actually ate it!" And
It's not too bad.
yeah, you're chewing this thing. You know, it's a little sticky, a little metallic-y, but it tastes okay. And then all of a sudden, you feel your mouth start to burn a bit.
Oh god, it's the fire I was talking about. Alright.
And I don't mean burn as in, oh crap, it's just too hot, I took it off the pot too fast.
Like acid
No,
kind of burn?
Like acid. It's like your mouth is being dissolved by acid.
Oh god.
That's too bad.
I swear to fuck if this was Winslow. I swear to god.
You just keep it in your mouth and you just swallow it, or?
No, I'm spitting it the fuck out. If it's like acid and burning my tongue, I'm not gonna keep it in my goddamn mouth. Or even worse, put it in my stomach.
I'll now have some acid on stomach acid action.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's a horrible idea.
I need you to take
Oh god.
this damage here for the acid.
Only 4?
And,
Alright, I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
and as you spit it out, sort of, Ears jumps back. She's like, oh, what is the matter with you? I mean, I know it's bad, but God, could you maybe not spray us?
It tasted like acid. What did I make?
I don't know, dude. Like, hang on.
Svein is now thinking twice about eating some of this.
Ears kind of stands up
Making a
and she's
weird
like,
face.
yeah. Ears stands up and she's like, okay, let me see the plate.
I'll die headed the fuck over.
And she looks at the plate and she kind of gives it a flick with her own fingers and she's like, who was on water patrol here?
Svein, Lobe.
Oh, yes, that was us.
You got it out of the pond, right? Like, this isn't just a practical
Yeah.
goof.
Yes, we got it out of the pond. Yep.
Okay, well, clearly you guys did something. I don't know how you fucked up getting water out of a pond, but... And as she goes to flick the weird, meaty, goopy mess, the goop rears back.
What?
Kind of recoils. And she looks at it, she immediately, like, the plate is on the ground. She's like, holy shit, what?
Kennam's gonna firebolt the plate.
That's a work.
Okay.
Lobe, did you use your cleric powers to revive the food?
Well,
I don't
so,
think so.
So as you're having this conversation, and Kennam, you're rearing back to do a firebolt. The goop on the plate starts to run, like beelining.
Like it has legs and it.
No, not like it has legs. It's
Those are a pair of
snugging.
man legs. And...
It's snugging and snailing, slinking through the grass at top speed, getting the fuck out of Dodge. And you watch as the pot starts to tremble and shake next, and
Oh,
the
God.
same sort of gray, disgusting ooze starts to flop over the sides, like bubbling over the side, and it's a lot bigger than that little tiny bit you got. And I need everyone to now roll initiative.
We
Alright.
all make mistakes.
I still have your stuff from last time, so I will make sure to punch it in.
I got 20.
Wow, Lannon, you are on it, huh?
Yep.
15.
15 for...
23.
Hot
Wow.
shit.
Are you sure you guys weren't expecting this pot of stew to come to life?
I mean, we had a second. We had a second to think on it.
Svein is a rogue. He's always expecting the
I
unexpected.
guess so. What'd you get, Lobe?
I got a 6.
Yeah!
Someone has to be at the bottom. I'm really
Yeah,
glad
let's
it's the
just-
cleric.
You're
Wow!
glad the
Wow.
one that's keeping you alive.
Whoa!
Okay, that was Ears. Ears is ready to go, guys.
What did yours get? I can't see at the moment.
She
You're just
got
got a natural 20.
Okay. So I guess Ears is gonna start this party off. Again, she kind of dropped the plate, and she is the closest to this amalgamation of ooze. So before it can get anywhere near her, she immediately beelines back to the cart, and she's like, nope, I'm not dealing with this shit, nope! Have fun!
Alright, but
And,
what's worse, Winslow or the slime?
Yeah, no, Winslow's kind of standing up like, what the heck is everyone? And then she sees Ears sort of jump over him and get into the cart. And he's like, what the heck is going on? What are you guys doing over there?
Lannon made food.
And that was the reason we never let Lannon around a pot again.
I don't think he followed the recipe very well.
All right, Lannon, you are, or no, Svein, you are starting us off. You are all around, kind of encircling this ooze. All of you are within swiping distance of this thing, and it is still pulling itself together, so it hasn't quite gotten its form enough to strike out at anybody yet.
Wait, so
A little delayed.
are all 4 of us flanking it?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Sweet.
So what are you gonna do,
Alright.
Svein?
Let's see here. I guess I'm going to maybe make a knowledge arcana check, maybe, to see if I can figure out what this thing is.
Yeah, go for it.
See if maybe Svein has read about food trying to kill people before. I got a 9.
That's a 9. So the most you heard of was this like children's book known as like the Fantasy Omelet, which would come out at night and devour naughty children. You're pretty damn sure it's not that.
This is
So, yeah.
very strange. Okay. Well, let's see here. Don't want this thing getting us now. Alright, well, he has a water skin on him. I'm gonna guess
Okay.
he has some water in there. He's gonna
Probably.
try just dumping water on it. See if maybe that's its mortal weakness.
Okay. So I mean, you could just, I guess you could just do it because it hasn't quite formed itself proper. So you just dump water, your entire water skin on it.
Wouldn't that just make it bigger?
No. I'm gonna dump just maybe like a couple ounces just to see what happens.
Okay, so you
I'm gonna do a
dump-
little experimenting here.
Okay, so you dump some water on this slimy gray oozy thing, and the water sort of slides across the surface, sort of like when oil meets water, and eventually gets sucked up, and there goes the water. It's gone.
Okay, that didn't work.
All right, Lannon, your turn.
Lannon's not inspecting this shit. He's just gonna try and swing at it.
Okay.
Alright.
Easy swinging with one of his axes.
His battle axe.
All right, sounds good.
Somebody have a shovel.
What?
Bury it. Let's bury it.
Does an 18 happen to hit this monstrosity?
Wow, 18. That is pretty good. Yeah, no, that'll definitely hit. Roll for damage.
Cool. Let me... Yeah. I guess I'm using both hands for this, so... Oh,
You did
whoops.
pre-establish.
Damn it,
Oh,
that's
no.
not the right thing. Ah.
You caught Tom's curse.
Yep.
You don't want to do that.
12 damage.
There we go. 12 damage. Not bad. Okay, so you...
Almost hits.
You're watching science theater over here, and kind of decide against that. You take your axe, and you cleave this thing right along the side, and it's got a nice gash in it. Like, you even pick up some of the goop, and now it's sitting very nicely on your axe, like blood spurted from an enemy.
Oh.
And it's got a nice deep gash in it, and it starts to quiver. It's not very thrilled with what you did. Kennam, go ahead.
Okay,
I
so
I swear to God, if you try to make this thing a new pet,
can
I swear.
turn person?
Oh God.
Well, it's not a person, so no.
Okay, can I handle animal?
God damn it.
Not really an animal either, so no.
Well, that's all I got. All right, I guess. Yeah. I guess I'm just going to firebolt.
Okay.
Thank fuck.
I've got no way to befriend it, so I guess I gotta kill it. Does a 22 hit?
Jesus Christ, yes! 22 hits.
Well, it takes 5 damage. 5 fire damage.
5 fire damage. Okay, so you scorch the back of this thing as Lannon kind of pulls away from his axe swipe. And again, it quivers and hisses as its surface begins to bubble a bit.
Oh.
And
no.
now it's Lobe's turn.
All right. Well, Lobe's gonna start the turn by using his spiritual weapon.
Okay.
And this time, instead of a keg, we're gonna make a giant pot with a lid.
Alright, sounds good. Are you gonna just drop it like last time, or are you gonna... What are you gonna do with this thing?
Well, we're gonna like kind of try and like hit/smash it into the pot itself.
Okay.
And Lobe's going to shout, "Food, get back in the pot!"
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Roll me.
Roll the hit. 15. Guess I would just go with the casting. So it's. So 19 to hit.
Yeah, 19 hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. Here's the D8. All right.
What's your damage?
I have to do totaling. I gotta scroll through my phone doing this.
This is what happens when we switch our appliances up.
Okay, so we are doing 10 damage to it, trying to smash it back into.
Oh my
the
god!
spiritual pot.
People, Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so Lobe, you shout out that triumphant one-liner of yours, and you just smash this thing into the ground with your magic pot, and the goo just goes in every which direction. It's like you dashed a giant cockroach on the ground.
It's like
and its guts
Gallagher.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And it doesn't really make an attempt to reform itself. It's not really moving. So now you guys have covered your campsite in this gray, oozy, meaty, gross thing. Congratulations.
Oh god. Ugh.
Good job, good job.
Lennon just takes one hand, wipes his face, and just flings it onto the ground.
Lovely.
Lobe's gonna
So-
taste some of it.
You're gonna... Well, it tastes a little metallic-y and a tiny bit meaty. And a little acid. Little acidy too, so I think I'm gonna now need you to take this acid damage right there. 3 acid damage.
Okay.
Now, Lannon, I don't think you should make dinner next time.
Lannon is about to object and then is just like, yeah, probably.
So, like, way off in the distance, you hear ears yell from the cart. Is it over? Did you kill it?
We killed dinner, yes.
He killed dinner.
Oh, wait a second,
Give
guys.
me back some bread.
If the water came to life and tried to eat us, then he looks over at the pond and goes, "The hell is that?"
Yeah, on that note,
Oh god
as
damn it.
Kennam's attention turns to where he found the pond, you find yourself staring down what appears to be a giant, literally like huge category, getting into gargantuan-sized goal, encased in the same gray ooze that you just fought a couple seconds ago.
Don't
And
listen.
The bigger pot.
yeah. So, still in initiative, Svein, it's your turn. You are now staring down at this horrifying skeletal-faced gray ooze thing that is pulling out from this massive pond. And is coming right at you guys.
Okay. Svein is going to take a shot at it. with his bow.
Okay.
He's gonna try and see if he can hit. Does it have like a skull up at the top? Or there? Did you say
No,
there's like bones or?
Like a physical giant monster skull is encased in this goo, and it's staring
Okay.
right at you guys.
Okay.
How does
Well,
living
Svein's
water
gonna
have
try.
health?
Yeah, it's very, very unhealthy water.
It's very unhealthy water.
All right. Well, yeah, Svein's gonna try and hit that. So,
Okay, you hit that, Svein.
gonna take him a shot. 12.
I mean, it's pretty freaking hard to miss, so yeah. But as you fire off your iron arrow at this thing, you shoot it into the goo, and it sucks all the way through, doesn't even get close to the skull, and then dissipates completely.
Okay, that's not good.
And you kind of hear ears yelling behind you guys, ha, 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 wah, ha, and you hear Winslow kind of shouting to her, get the fucking giant monster cart ready! What are you doing? So, Lannon, it's now your turn. This thing is still pulling out of the pond like a sleeping behemoth waking from deep slumber.
And Span's gonna use his move action to just like back up. So.
Okay, that's a safe bet.
Alright. I'm assuming that thing doesn't have any blood, so my first plan is useless. But, yeah,
It will if it eats us.
First and foremost, he's going to yell to Kennam, "John Person, you idiot!" And then he's gonna leg it.
It's not a person!
He has a point.
Alright, fair. He's gonna leg it.
Okay, legging it to the cart?
Yeah, legging it to the cart.
Sounds like a plan.
He wants to live to fight, not this thing.
Alright, sounds good. Kennam, what are you gonna do as this thing oozes out from the depths?
I'm gonna run as close as I can to Kevin and cast Chromatic Orb at him, where I shoot my 4-inch diameter sphere of energy that I shoot, elemental energy that I choose. I choose fire. He's now growing.
Oh,
She's now
Jesus,
growing.
he's gonna get
15.
really big. Wow, she was huge, huh?
She
Wow.
was. Now she's even
large.
bigger.
She's
Yeah,
large, so
now
now
she's
add the
huge.
15.
So yeah, she goes up another scale of largeness and looks even meaner than she did before. Like, her once innocent Ba has turned into just this devilish,
Roar?
it's like, yeah, like a roar. Very much like a roar. And she is about the size of this skeletal head coming out from this pond. So what are you gonna do now? You just your magic.
Just gonna point over at the slime and say, Kevin, kill.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So are
my
you gonna
favorite
use
thing.
Kevin's magical powers of fiery charges?
I forget if we mentioned. Does Kevin breathe fire?
Yes, Kevin also does breathe fire.
Is there anyone between Kevin and the slime? Like, if she breathes fire, would it hit anyone?
I mean, it would have been Lannon, but Lannon started running. So
Okay then, Kevin, breathe some fire.
okay. And how many D10s am I adding to this fire? You can
All
go
of it.
all of it.
All of it. I can feed her later
The whole
when this thing's
dice
dead.
bag.
All of it.
Wow. Okay. So that's
Jesus fuck.
okay.
We
You
are
got it.
buying time.
I almost wrote 10d40. That's not right. Okay, so you command Kevin, and her antlers are now ablaze with fire. Multiple antlers now. Like, this is a full-blown Hellion demonic goat thing. And she rears back and lets loose this column of fire that does 26 damage.
Yes!
And as she does, the gray ooze like bubbles and hisses and pops, and she actually gets through a decent chunk of the layer, so much so that now there's only a very thin membrane between it and the skull behind it. And as this is happening, Kennam and anyone else who did not book it, so sorry, Lannon, I guess you're gonna miss it. But you see, within this skeleton's frame, like between its jaw and coming out of its eye sockets, there's the very faint look of what seems to be some sort of vine or some other plant-like material creeping out from within it. A Kennam,
Yeah.
you feel something warm in your pocket.
Yeah, ripping out the stones.
Yeah, you take out those crystals and those bitches are just ablaze.
All of them?
Well, not all of them, but it's at this point really freaking hard to tell which one is glowing, but definitely they are glowing. One of these are glowing.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna shout to the rest of the party. I think it's a sapling! Buy time for Florence to finish the job.
God.
Okay.
Just giving a thumbs up and taking out my shield.
Okay. Lobe, it is now your turn. You just watched this slime creature sort of get toasted by Kevin, who at this point now has reverted to tiny Kevin and is freaking the hell out.
She was badass.
She was a badass, and now she's just teeny weeny tiny teacup goat. And but this
more of those chromatic orbs waiting.
and this thing is still very much within touching range for you. So what do you want to do?
It's all you, Lobe.
Okay, sorry. We'll just go with the spiritual weapon again and see what the pot can do.
I was about to say,
We need a bigger pot!
is it still a pot?
It is still a pot.
Call the kettle black.
So we have 20 to hit this time.
20. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Go for it. Oh, you rolled a 20. Psh, okay.
Yeah, totally
I'm
20.
sorry. I was waiting for the number on roll 20 and it just wasn't happening. Yeah, no, that definitely hits.
Yeah, it's not going to be happening right now.
Yeah, no. It's okay.
Ooh, we're going to do 5 damage this time.
Okay. So you see sort of the thin membrane between the skull and slime, and you take it upon yourself to try and slam your pot into its face.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it did too much. Kind of just made a dent in that membrane there, and it's the slime is definitely now looking at you instead of Kevin, who was sizing up as a delicious morsel. But now it's looking to you. So
I'm gonna go ahead and throw on resistance for me, if that's cool.
okay. So now this slime skeleton face is going to try and pull itself out from the pond, which must be much deeper than you originally anticipated, Kennam, because this large creature, maybe like 8 or like 16 or so feet, it's slowly growing into 32, like 40 feet. Like, this thing is getting very, very tall and very, very big. And as it continues to pull itself up and out, you see that it's not just a skeletal monster's head that is in this thing. It is an entire frame that exists, kind of shaping this creature. There's this spinal cord that runs down the side, along its back. You can see the brief makings of a rib cage. It's not quite out all the way to fully put that rib cage on display, but this thing is looking big. Like, if you compared it to how big Florence usually is, it's definitely starting to stack up as a rather huge creature.
Oh, God.
And unfortunately, because it's so big and trying to get out of this really deep hole, that's going to be its turn. So, Svein, it's back to you.
Okay. So, Svein is, I don't know, like, how long it would take for him to do this, but
Might as well try.
Svein does have some flasks of oil, he has a tinderbox, and he has his bow and arrow. So, can he try to make a makeshift fire arrow without setting himself alight?
Yeah, that will take some time. to do so, you have to like douse your arrows and then pull it back. So
Yeah.
it'll take like the whole turn to do it, but you can definitely make yourself a sweet fire arrow.
All right, so he's gonna start setting that up.
All right.
Should I roll something for that?
Yeah, like you can shoot an arrow. I'm just like, since you lit it on, like got all the shit out, doused one of your arrows in it, and now lit it on fire. Now you're gonna fire it. It'll just take your whole turn to do all of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
But I am totally game for this idea of fire.
All right. Do I need to like roll to not catch myself on fire? Should not have asked.
Yeah, probably not, because now I'm thinking about it. You can roll me like a dexterity saving throw, just to make sure you don't accidentally slip and catch your arm on fire or something stupid like that.
22.
Yeah, 22 will do it. So you managed to light an arrow on fire, and you, let's see, you probably only moved 5 or 10 feet back from this thing, and this giant slime is quickly filling the gap. So, and that thin membrane is starting to reconstitute itself around the skull. So you definitely have a limited window of opportunity here.
Okay. I'm gonna try and take advantage of that opportunity.
You go for it.
Here we go. 22.
22, nice. Make a damage roll this time. 8. Okay, so you knock back this fiery arrow and you let it loose, and the fire itself, when it hits this membrane, it hisses out, but that was enough sort of impact to get it to tink against the skull, and you do see sort of a chip or two float now off in free fall. Again, the arrow is immediately consumed, eaten, it's gone, but there is now a very small chip in this thing's skeletal head. All right, Lannon.
Okay, just quick out-of-game question.
Yes?
Would the sapling be 50 pounds or less?
Safe bet, yeah, that it is probably 50 pounds or less.
Then can I use, my mother's hand to pull it right the fuck out of its head?
You can definitely try, but it is going to fight you hard for that. One, it's in slime, so you're already at disadvantage for that. And again, too, it's probably not going to want to let it go. So you can... Let's see, how are we going to do this? Because you don't usually roll for a mage hand.
Wait, so what's the turn order at the moment?
Right now, it's Lannon, then Kennam, then Lobe, and then Svein.
Alright.
If you want me to hold back for a second...
I was gonna say if it went, Lannon, Svein, Kennam, we could have just used our consequent turns to help you out, but...
I feel like we did something like this last time with a bunch of mage hands flying everywhere. Shit. We did this with the Red Knight fight. What did we do?
I think we did a magic check, like, whatever his oh, he doesn't have a casting ability.
No, I don't.
We did it with Svein, and Svein had a casting ability.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Right. Then I guess in your case, little buddy, you gotta just roll a 1d20 with disadvantage.
Oh, fuck.
You can do it.
Oh my god, this could be so good if you mess this up, dude. I could mess you up so bad.
I'm still like 50 feet away. So I don't know how badly you can mess me up. But
try me.
Yeah, I know. I'm tempting technically God here.
Back on the hand and pull you.
Oh man.
Come on, man, do it.
Or you could pull a long stretch of slime to you.
Come on, man, I gotta see this. Let's do it.
All right.
Roll that 20.
9.
9.
3.
Oh
God.
Yes!
It couldn't have just ended at the 9. No. Oh.
Delicious 3. Okay. This is gonna be good.
I really hope my rings don't come off. Or my hand entirely.
So you get an idea in your head. And you throw out your hand that has the rings your mother gave you, and you activate the mage hand on each of the rings. And you can see that the skeleton, like the skeleton's head, is starting to kind of lurch forward a bit, like something suddenly is pulling at it from the inside. Something just grabbed its little noggin, is tugging at it. And as you are pulling for your life, trying to get this sapling out, you can see kind of it's more spilling out of its mouth and it's more spilling out of the eye sockets. You can see more of the branches and the leaves, and the color itself is completely impossible to discern. The ooze itself is just too dark, it's too gray, you don't know what color it is, but it's there because it's glowing and you have it. But the ooze is not a fan of you doing this. And with one mighty jerk, it jerks back, and you, with this mage hand, are thrown forward with such speed and velocity that you cannot even comprehend at first. And you fly right past your friends, and you, from your perspectives, Kennam, Lobe, Svein, Lannon was flying by you 1 second, and it hit that slime surface, and he is gone. Like, you cannot see him anymore.
And Svein's just gonna yell out, Lannon, grab the sapling!
So, Kennam, it's now your turn.
Oh god. Alright.
My head is in my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
I'm thinking, because we can't, he's so far in, we can't see him anymore, right?
No, he is gone, and it's not even like he...
Poop Creek. He's in Poop Creek.
It's not even like he went up to the head, like where the skull, like anywhere near there. No, he went to like the center of this thing's chest, and he is gone.
Okay. I'm going to pull out the 5 feet of rope I have, cast Absorb Elements, and charge at the slime.
Okay.
Absorb Elements, by the way, means I can take resistance on a specific damage type until the end of my next turn. And if I'm hit with that resistance type, I also get to I get to essentially take the element and I get to shoot it back out eventually, but with a melee attack on my next turn.
Okay.
But I'm gonna cast Absorb on Acid.
Okay.
And charge at the slime with this rope in my hand.
Okay. So, is something going to happen this turn, or?
I'm probably gonna have to wait.
Okay, so basically, Lannon disappeared, you ripped out this rope, you charged into this thing's chest, and now you're gone.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well,
where's everyone going?
Lobe, Svein, you watch Kennam sort of angrily charge into this thing, and now he's gone. Lobe, it's your turn.
So everyone is gone.
Except for Svein and Kevin and Winslow and Ears at the cart.
Can't you, like, purify food and water or some shit?
Does he count as food?
He's water!
Did you try to eat it?
We thought it was water.
True. Do I have
It's food to you. You just have to believe.
Not sure that works, but you know what? I'm dying, so please.
Look, if you can ingest it and keep it down, it counts as food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Damn it.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, I'll say this. Teeny tiny Kevin comes running over to you and is severely freaking the hell out. He's like, meh, 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 meh. He's just like rubbing up against your leg as if that will make everything better somehow.
It might.
What tried to be a very badass moment wound up being a not badass moment.
Not going so hot.
No.
But Lobe, if you genuinely have no idea what to do, that is fine. You can skip your turn if that's what your character has to do.
Well, I guess I'll just try and hit it with the pot again.
All right, hit it with that pot.
That's all I got.
Toke it up.
Oh.
20 blazing.
So
Other
19,
secret stuff.
or no, 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Hit it for 9.
Hit it for 9. Yep, your pot kind of smacks against it, and it sends this little jelly ripple up the sides, but it does not look like it's doing too much anymore. It was much easier when it was in tiny pieces. So now it's the Grey Ooze's turn. The Grey Oozy Boozy, which has now fully pulled itself out from this pond, which again must have been a very deep pond, because as it stands now, this thing, for all of you people looking up your table of creature sizes and scales, this thing is on the gargantuan end of that scale.
Oh my
This
fuck.
thing is huge. And again, sort of like with the moonlight reflecting off of it, you can catch pieces of this giant, ancient, skeletal beast just swimming around inside of it, sort of making this awkward, like its own skeletal body so the ooze can take shape. And you can hear behind you, Ears is just shouting incoherently, like her hand is on the cart, and you can see those same images and paintings and tattoos tearing off her arm as she is trying desperately to get this cart to go back into a monster size. You see, like, Winslow just staring at this giant ooze, just no idea what he can do to help or do against such a gargantuan beast. And Svein and Lobe, that's the last thing you guys see before this ooze takes one of its, for lack of a better term, hands, one of the skeletal hands, it forms around it, and it goes out to swipe at both of you. And just in case it does roll a 1, because that'd be hilarious, but I'm pretty sure that 25 will hit at least one of you, and that 21 will hit the other.
Let me double check. Yeah.
I mean, I really don't think it matters who I hit with either of those.
This episode started out great. This series started out great.
I'm not done yet. You
Yeah.
got
Moral of the day, don't drink the water.
Yeah.
So, Lobe and Svein, just like your friends, you are gone. Like, this ooze has just sucked you up and you vanish. And the very last thing either one of you see is Ears looking over just as Florence the monster cart has taken form, and she looks over and her entire face screws up into panic. And then everything goes black.